The only reason I'm not getting into Dragon Ball is the fact that, and I confirmed this with my friend who again is obsessed with Dragon Ball, like he lives and breathes it, and he admitted to this, so no one can say anything to me to make me think that what I'm about to say is wrong. Hello everyone, today we're checking out the IGN's top 25 anime characters of all time. I'm really looking forward to see if the boys and girls at IGN actually put some thought into this list, or is it just another popularity contest. So let's just jump right into it, because either way, I'm ready. Also, I've always wanted to do a shock spitting, so I'm gonna take a sip before every spot. So let's go. Okay, here we are. Why do I feel like the 25th spot is going to be something that I absolutely love? Let's go, let's see. Okay, spoilers. Oh, okay. Okay, that took me by surprise. Honestly, I feel like I don't know enough about his character per se in order to actually agree or disagree with this one. Like, if I'm just taking what it did for anime, absolutely deserves a spot here, but I know next to nothing about his personality per se. Is he similar to Adam? Because if I go that route, it's definitely an interesting character. Like, just because the idea of AI versus humanity was always such an interesting one for me, and him having to play the bridge between the two is super interesting. So yeah, I don't have any problem with that. Maybe I will later on when I see the other spots, but I will give it credit for what it did for anime. Like it says here, it was one of the fathers of all anime, so well deserved. Okay, I have to actually remember drinking this. Let's see. Oh god, you again. Oh god. The other fear I have is that I wouldn't have seen some of the characters in this list. Okay, again, I don't know enough about you to make an argument. I still haven't gotten around to see the reboot, let alone the original. So I heard good things about him. Like, I heard he's a cool character. I definitely love his design, but as I will say, a pass for now. I don't want to annoy anyone without even knowing what I'm talking about. So pass. Okay. Oh, hell no. Hell. It's too soon for me to get angry already. Oh god. Okay. What else is on this list if the GOAT Lelouch is on 23? Like, he's smart, he's cool, he's OP intellectually. Like, yeah, he's kind of a terrorist, but I say out of all the terrorists in anime who try to rally the world against them, he did it the best. Like, like, yeah, I can condone some of his choices, but at the same time, he's such a cool character. I mean, come on. Like, the ending, just for the ending alone, I can hard disagree. Like, oh my god, I'm getting angry already. We're not even past the first 5. Okay, what else? Why? Why did it have to be these two next to each other? I feel like this is one of the most argued things in anime, between the fight between these two. Like, okay, I get it. Death Note is way more popular than Code Geass, and sure, I guess, like, if you take it overall, you could argue that Light is smarter, but the reason I always put Lelouch above Light, his delusions of grandeur are the one thing that make me put him below Lelouch. You know, I'm not saying that it's a bad character trait, especially in this kind of story, in Death Note's case. Like, for me, Light would be 10 times better as a character if he didn't have all his maniacal moments. Yeah, it speaks to the themes of Death Note. You go mad with power. But again, those moments just felt off to me, because the rest of the time he was such a calm and composed character, logical, rational, and so on. Now, outside the Light versus Lelouch, for both of them, I think this is way too low on the list. Like, what the hell do we have later if those two are here? Okay, I think it's time to get my cup ready. Oh, thank God I don't know anything about this guy. I'm sorry I didn't see JoJo's. Yell at me all you want. I still need time to prepare myself to watch that show. Like, I heard it's good. I'm sure I would love it, but I don't know nearly enough to comment on this. Just looking at him, I would say has great villain vibes, so maybe he deserves to be on the list. Okay, okay, gone 20. I feel that's fair. Like, I feel that's fair because Gon is such a neutral character for me. Like, his story is super cool. The way the world turns this sweet, innocent boy into a monster. Yeah, I feel like 20 is a pretty decent spot for Gon. I literally have no problem with him. I even think that too many people give him crap for being a boring MC, while they miss the point of his story entirely. So yeah, I'm happy with Gon on 20. I approve. Okay, next, let's see. Of course. Is half of these list things I haven't seen. Like, I know Ghost in the Shell is a huge thing, and honestly, any strong type female MC is always such a big plus, but not having seen the show, I'm reluctant to actually say that she deserves to be here or not, because normally I would say yes in a heartbeat. Like, the standard of well-written female characters is so low that she is probably great, but without actually knowing her personality, her backstory and stuff like that, I really don't want to say that she deserves to be on this list higher than the rest of the characters so far. So let's just put it on hold and we'll revisit it once I actually get around to watching the show. Okay, can we have more things that I've seen here? It's starting to make me look bad. Okay, cup ready. I feel like I'm not going to get my shock spitting. Levi. Levi is... He definitely deserves a spot on the list. I'm just trying to figure out if it's too low or too high. Like, if I was to rank badass characters in anime, near the top. Like, no competition there, but I'm trying to be objective towards his complexity as a character, backstory, personality, so on, and involvement in the story. Like, he's definitely borderline one of the main characters. His backstory is cool. It explains his current behavior from every point of view, in my opinion. So yeah, I feel like 18 is... I probably would put him a little higher depending on what comes next. Like, I would definitely not put Gon higher than him. I would probably put Lelouch higher than him. I'm sorry if to say that, but I would probably... He's my favorite character from Attack on Titan. Like, I don't know why I'm even arguing. So yeah, I think 18 is a bit low. Like, I think I would put him higher. I'll probably get even more upset about it when I see what's actually coming next. Okay, let's move on. Why are you doing this to me? Can I give you a hot take? Like, a very, very hot take? I was never on the Kakashi hype boat before anyone kills me. Like, not in the sense that I dislike him as a character or anything. He's cool, I like him, but never to the level of his social hype. Like, I was never in the boat where Kakashi was this extraordinary character. Like, he has, like, true, he has some of the best moments in the show, no argument about it. It just wasn't a match of personality traits between me and him. But let me actually have a second to think about it, because his backstory is brutal. He lost arguably more than anyone in the entire universe. His battle against Obito is legendary. So yeah, I guess he deserves a spot. Like, not against... Like, I don't want to say... I will probably put him high. Like, he would probably be 25 for me, honestly. I'm not taking anything from him, but like, in the sea of all anime characters, I just can't bring myself to put Kakashi so low on the list, considering the competition that we already had. So I'm sorry, I totally disagree with this one. Okay, come on. Holy what? Okay. Okay. Who wrote this article? Can I can I just quickly? Okay, Rosie Knight. I would love to chat with you. Guts in 16. Guts. I would love to hear your reasoning for this one. Like, Guts is one of the most complex and well-written characters I've ever fucking seen. From his backstory to the way that his behavior in the present reflects how much he's been hurt by people and how people keep hurting him, the way he's being rough with others, just because, not because he's some tough guy, but because he's just been hurt before. Like, it's not a tough guy act, it's genuinely nuanced and complex. So this is crazy. Guts at 16 is an insane thing to say. Totally disagree. Okay, moving on. I almost beat there, not gonna lie. I think we're getting closer. Okay, I know nothing about you. I've seen some episodes of Lupin way back when. I remember him being goofy. I think I genuinely don't remember enough to say that he deserved, but considering it's an old IP and maybe it's just a nostalgia pick, let's say he goes next to Astro Boy. Why are you doing this to me? I just said I haven't seen JoJo's. Everyone's going to think I'm a fraud. I swear to God, I've seen hundreds of shows. Video is going to kill all my credibility that I don't have anyway, since I'm just starting. So, yeah, what the hell? I haven't seen JoJo's. Sorry. I don't know if Jotaro is a cool character or not. Like, tell me about it. Okay, moving on. What? Oh my god, I'm gonna get in so much trouble for this one. Look, Zoro is probably top 3 favorite characters in One Piece for me. No, that sounds about right. But like, complexity-wise, one of the thing I love most, and it's the most compelling about Zoro, is his faith in Luffy. Like, how much of a Luffy's boy he is, and that's absolutely not a bad thing as a character, especially considering what his character is. But like, I'm trying to decide if that's enough to deserve the 13th spot, you know? So yeah, I love how devoted to Luffy and how much trust he has in Luffy. I feel like we don't see that nearly enough in anime, like a cool camaraderie, I would say. So for that, I guess he stands, like, for that he definitely stands above the rest. But in terms of his backstory, which probably isn't complete considering the hints Oda was dropping lately, his backstory is kind of basic as far as the rest of this list goes. Like, just put Zoro's backstory next to Guts, and I think you'll start to agree with me here. So I would definitely put Zoro way lower on this top. Like, I don't know if I would put him at all. God, I'm gonna get murdered. Okay, moving on. I'm sorry, Zoro. And we began the popularity contest. Like, can someone even argue with me when I say that Tanjiro is definitely not even the second best part about Demon Slayer, which is a masterpiece? Like, I say, if you ask 100 Demon Slayer fans who's your favorite character from the show, most of them will say either Inosuke or the flashy Hashira. God, I can't believe I'm spacing his name right now. Uzui. So yeah, I feel there's nothing wrong with Tanjiro as a character, don't get me wrong. He is the textbook definition for a shonen MC. Like, he has great moments, but as far as his character traits go, definitely doesn't stand out more than anyone else. Like, he has some good moments that almost make me agree with him being on the list, but overall, no, I can't agree. I'm sorry, especially not in number 12. So hard disagree. Okay, next. I'm running out of water. Let's see. Okay, this one is easy. Yeah, fine, I agree. Even though I borderline can decide between who I like more, Light or L. L is definitely an incredible character. Honestly, if I was to put him on this list, I would put him way closer to Light, first off, and second, way lower. Like, if Light was in 2021, I guess L should be in 20, would be in 23 for me or something. Okay, we're getting to the top 10. Come on. Really? I considering how much I've heard about Ronnie Kenshin, I feel like everything I've heard about it was regarding the show and what the show did for anime as a whole, but I've never heard any particularities about the main character, you know? I'm like, every time you hear someone talking about most popular shows or iconic shows or stuff like that in anime, you hear them talking about Ronnie Kenshin, but never about Himura. So I'm really shocked. I know very little about him. I think I've seen a couple of episodes years ago. No, I don't. First off, I don't know enough. Second of all, I feel like when I hear so much about the show, but so little about the main character that I borderline don't know who the main character is, it's going to be disagree for me. I think this is a popularity choice, but if eventually I get around to finishing the show, I will definitely come back and apologize for this take. Okay, moving on. Please be something that I know of. Fucking how? I swear I'm an anime fan. I swear I love anime. It's just, I feel like someone conspired against me with this list. Holy shit. Okay, context. I think it was a year ago. I was in a very strange mood and I was watching a whole lot of weird shows, starting way up there with the Monogatari series. So I think after I watched around 10 shows in a row that were from the same area as Monogatari, I was like, okay, I feel weird. My brain was literally feeling weird, like I was on LSD constantly. So I kind of needed to pull myself out of the whole weird directing and camera movement and colors and stuff like that shows. So from what I know about Evangelion, it's in a similar spot. So I've always postponed watching the show. I'll get around to it eventually, but I just needed a long break from weird shows. And I'm not saying weird in a bad way, it's just, if you've seen the Monogatari series, you know what I'm talking about. Like the very abstract way the anime is made and constructed. And I know I don't think this is way near that, but I still heard a lot of that it's a mindfuck sometimes. So we'll get to it eventually. Okay, moving on. Come on. Okay, what can I say about this one? What could I possibly say about this one? Again, if I'm just rating by what it did for anime, of course, I'm trying to review these choices based on the actual personality of the character, so I don't think Usagi deserves to be as close to the top as she is. I'm sorry. Moving on. I so knew we were getting here. How do I say this? I have barely seen some of Dragon Ball. Barely. Barely meaning I've watched some episode with an obsessed friend of mine. And the only reason I'm not getting into the show is not because it's old. It's not because everyone says, oh, it's bad, oh, only some of it is good and the rest of it it's filler or is bad or it's a remake. I don't care. I don't give a shit about it. If something is good, it's good. The only reason I'm not getting into Dragon Ball is the fact that, and I confirmed this with my friend who again is obsessed with Dragon Ball, like he lives and breathes it, and he admitted to this, so no one can say anything to me to make me think that what I'm about to say is wrong. Like, yeah, I like fighting, I love a good action scene, but it was never the strong point for me in anime. Like, what I look for in anime is the plot, the dialogue, the characters. So the reason I'm not eager to get into Dragon Ball is because compared to everything else I've ever seen, where the fighting is a medium for the story to be told, in Dragon Ball's case, it seems like the story is the medium for the fighting to happen. Like, I'm sorry, it's just a matter of priority. A show where the story is such a throwaway thing that is just there to justify the fighting happening. Not that that's a bad thing, but since it's so far removed from what I'm looking for when watching anime, I just can't bring myself to watch it. Maybe I'll just start watching it with my friend and eventually finish it. But for now, I know just from the little I've seen with him that I definitely lean more towards Vegeta than Goku. But beyond that, I can express an opinion. If I was to extrapolate from what I've seen, definitely a popularity peak, definitely way too high on this list. Okay, moving on. How do I know that Goku is going to be the next one here? Oh no, okay. Okay, okay. Yeah, I don't even have to think about it. Yes, 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 yes. Before I see what else is here, I think 6 is a good spot for Spike. Like, his backstory is cool. He's cool as a character. Like, he's not edgy cool, but just cool. So yeah, I have no problem with Spike at 6. Okay, I'm not saying it again. Go back to Vegeta and you'll see why I don't agree with Goku being on this list. I'm sorry. Next. Call me impressed. Can anyone argue with the fact that Johan is probably one of the best written characters, period? Like, just looking at his photo right now, I got chills down my spine just remembering him in the show. I barely sleep at night. Like, it's the fact that he's not actually doing anything on screen most of the show that makes him such an incredibly written character. I'm totally agree. I'm happy to see. Maybe there are other characters that would deserve to be in top 10, but just for the fact that this list was just a popularity contest until now, I 100% agree with Johan in number 4. Like, yeah, no contest. What I'm going to say is that Naruto is probably the only popularity peak that I actually agree with, because he's actually a complex character. Like, I feel most people like to reduce Naruto to Tak no Jutsu and power of friendship and so on, but it's so hard not to love Naruto. Objectively speaking, I don't agree that he's the third most well-written character in anime ever. Not even close. But as far as this particular list goes, I have absolutely no problem with Naruto in number 3. Okay, 2 spots left. It's going to be Luffy, and there are a lot of choices again from the biggest anime. Ichigo? No way. If Ichigo's all hail, I forgot about you. Yeah, what else can I say? Perfect MC for perfect anime. Like, I'm not trying to go with the flow. I love Full Metal. It's not my favorite anime, but it's objectively the perfect anime. So deal with it. Okay, it's gotta be Luffy, right? It just has to be Luffy. I swear I didn't look before. Okay, how could it not? Like, considering what this list is, how could it have been anyone other than Luffy? Like, I would say I'm not getting into a long, huge argument about who's the better MC between the big 3. I'm just going to say that personally, I like Luffy more than Naruto, but just a little, because I feel like in the confines of One Piece, Luffy represents better the show than Naruto does for Naruto. So that's all I'm going to say. I'll probably make a separate video about that at some point. I agree with Luffy above Naruto. I don't agree with Luffy above some other characters in here. So this list was a mess anyway. Like, I'm not getting very angry about it because obviously going to be a popularity contest. Like, targets the audience, tries not to make too many people angry. But for someone who has watched over 800 shows, I think at this point, it's so painful to see some of my favorite characters not even included in here, and objectively complex and interesting characters. All I'm going to say is that IGN, not a good start. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Maybe next time I'm going to get to use you. So bye.